tell me we get what is up. Oh, we get this up. And we're down. Way down. Now we're down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Delta Airlines Flight 2998 bound for Atlanta, Georgia, with continued service to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
Yo, welcome to another episode of It's Up There Podcast. I am your active and attractive host for another episode of the fastest growing podcast on the market right now. Again, thank you for tuning in, listening, touching base with me. Again, it's always a pleasure to have your ear, your eye, and your heart. It's hard to get these things these days, and man, it's I wouldn't say been easy for me, because I promise you I put a lot of work in, like more work than anyone probably can imagine within the sound of my voice, right? You probably could never imagine the amount of work that goes into trying to hijack a process with no information, right? I'm trusting the instincts. I'm trying to look at everything and view it from a standpoint of there's no way to fail when you really take your time. The further I go, right? And I think and this is what get weird, man. It be like, you think all right, when I get on this level, they gonna know what I'm talking about. Like, everybody gonna think like this. And the more and more I'm going, I'm still finding out that it's rare the way that I'm viewing things. And so now what I'm thinking it was worth, I may be off by a lot, because I'm thinking once you get past this point, everybody looked at it like this. I just always think it's an information thing, meaning that once they let you behind the curtain, then you get to see that they setting up a whole nother stage, and when the lights go out, the whole stage flip around. The audience don't know what's going on. They know the lights go out when they come up, some more shit out there. So again, it's just, as I'm finding out that Loon, you really own to something with this thing. This thing is just a little bit different, even though I always knew what it was. But I'm saying it's a little bit more serious than I even knew that it was. But shout out to everybody listening, man. If you are right now within the sound of my voice, hit subscribe on whatever app you listening to the podcast on. Hit rate, give us a rating, and all of that if you support us. If you want to see the video, go join as a member on YouTube, FOGFO TV on YouTube. Join as a member, and then you will be able to see the video portion of the podcast, or go to my Pateron. We there every single week. That's where you can contact me and do different things, as well as YouTube. So just get in communication with me and really tap in and support the movement. We got hoodies out, we got things out. So it's just about where you stand with us. Is you really, because you can't steal the game. I'm starting to figure that out too. The way I go about it and the way I look at it, you can't really steal it. I be waiting. You got to think, because of, and I'm about to fix that this year. That's one of my goals for this year. I'm staggered a week after, right? So when you hear me speak on a topic, that's a week after, right? And so what's happening is what's gonna happen this year is at some point I'm gonna catch up with that, and it's gonna be right that Monday of every week I'm dropping, right? So I just want y'all to know that too, just to put things in perspective, man. This podcast journey that I'm on, and I'm on it by myself, it's so dope, bro. I be in different cities and different states, and it's COVID out, and it's like, yo, you getting rich in COVID. Now you gonna fuck around and run some, and why COVID is at, man, and it's like, damn, bro, I don't know, because, I started this thing not really knowing what I was getting myself into. I knew that everybody called me for advice and how you look at this, Loon, and what's this about, and what would you think, bro? And so I always had that, And so I just started I just started doing it. I went and got with a couple of my homegirls. Did a couple of episodes like a pilot, just a run like that to see how things would go. Do I want to do it this way? I always knew I needed women. This was way back then. They'll tell you. I've been ahead of this shit. You know what I mean? So it's not by coincidence that the people that's in position can hear me talk and say, nah, he one of us. He know what he talking about. You know what I mean? It's no coincidence to that. But we got a lot to talk about today, man, with the podcast. We got the Wack 100 and Bobby Shmurda dancing thing. You know, number one, there's a lot going on with Wack 100 and Clubhouse. We clearly see he's dropping a podcast and trying to do something, integrate that audience over there, which will make it a self-running machine, which I see what he's doing, you know. Interesting. I'll just say that. Very interesting what he's doing. I know. I mean, I can see what's happening. So it's interesting. But for those of you that may not know, and I want to really put context around what was said with the Wack 100 and Bobby Shmurda thing. There's some details missing here that I think people are not necessarily aware that they missing, right? Because Wack was having a conversation, if we're being honest about it, and let me find the conversation. But Wack was having a conversation about Bobby Shmurda, his presence in the music business. Basically, Bobby had a hit, I think, about 7 years ago, something like that, and that his presence, like he haven't served his base, and he talking that building talk when he go to talking like that. So some people may be unaware of the points that's being made there. Nonetheless, though, I find it interesting that we have, or us as a culture, we become critical of people like Bobby, and we become passive of people like Tekashi. I think that's an interesting conundrum when we deal with the specifics, right? Because, hey man, the same way you got such and such business, like if you dealing with my business or my people, this my people and my business, right? And if the parameters gonna be, say, bruh, that's FOGFO business. So which means you don't gotta understand that. But if I come out and tell you though, this way it be getting slippery there. Because as real be feeling like we supposed to have a certain level of respect for real niggas, right? I ain't saying you can't have a misunderstanding like that, bro, what you doing. When you say, yo, bro, what you doing, and one of my generals come back and say, hey, yo, bro, you know we real niggas. Here, this FOGFO business. Ain't none of that going on. Yeah, it look funny though. Yeah, but I'm telling you that whatever you looking at or think you looking at, that ain't what that is. Cause what more you asking me to do to prove to you that whatever you saying ain't what it is? You see what I'm saying? Slippery, dog. I be trying to. That's why I'm gonna have a conversation with the whole game. You know what I'm saying? Because on one end, we got a dude, right, with Tekashi, who people can say he was took advantage of. You dig what I'm saying? We know he wasn't cut with no motherfucking steel. You know what I'm saying? We know he was cookie cutter. You see what I'm saying? So they allow him into a position that he was too short to get on the ride. You know, when you go to the fair and they say, yo, how tall? Yeah, you can't, this one, no sir. You need to go to the bumper car. You know, they allowed him to drive, but they allowed him to drive because he had the bankroll, and anytime poverty is present, manipulation, it could be at an all-time high, and we know people that's putting that in place. You know what I'm saying? We know how they do in the poverty area, the money, the manipulation with the money, right? Now, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. The boundaries are supposed to be in place. I already know that. Ain't even to be explained. But Tekashi get in a situation with these dudes. These dudes putting in real work, and they doing it on command, and they doing it with it knowing, right? So it's almost like the president approach I always talk about with my squad. Immediate response is necessary. You feel what I'm saying? And so certain times, and I hate to even explain these kind of things, man, but I know that my position in the game is one of breaking down certain things that maybe other people don't understand. But how can we champion him when he cooperated in any way? How we put him on any kind of pass, you know, and then when you say, well, that ain't my business, well, then how Bobby is your business then? Because what do we say? What is our business? What does that mean? You feel what I'm saying? But we gonna talk about it for snitch. But and guess what? If that's your brand, if that's how you moving around the marketplace, I salute you. That's your business model. If I'm Jamaican, or if my people, or if they telling you that this is part of our culture, this is what we do, and you know that we went and stood on that business, what is the debates about? I don't really be understanding. And then on top of that, they getting two videos mixed up. One of these videos they running around attaching to Bobby ain't even Bobby. It's a whole different rapper. You dig what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's a conflation of that. And that's what trolling is becoming now. You know how you can trick a motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? You can point at something and like make it look like it was this, but they can't really say. See, Wack is operating around the industry with high-level street jiu-jitsu, judo mind tricks. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the industry dudes, they walk right into them. They don't. See, they ain't have to operate by themselves on a high level, and not necessarily by yourself. But when I say by yourself, I mean ain't but one pilot. It's a lot of motherfuckers on the plane. You know, it may be two pilots, maybe, you know, a pilot and a co-pilot, but some airplanes ain't but one pilot. And you know, and so that's what I mean when I say by yourself. He got to make the decisions. I've always had to. When they took my homies when I was young, you know, to the feds, and had to be like, Wack 100 and them on Clubhouse. We're gonna listen to a little of the conversation. Joe Budden came in there, Gilly came in there. Another interesting tactic Wack is doing is he's tapping into these guys' audience off Clubhouse damn near for free, because they taking the Clubhouse audio and they running it through YouTube, which is tapping into their audience. Joe knows, Gilly and Wallow, they know too, they with Wack, so they you know, they working with him. But you got to be careful though, Wack, because dudes gonna stop letting you call them in there after a show and all that. They gonna start ducking him. But let's listen to a little bit of it.
Just called me firecracker because I was little with a big boom.
Wait. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. Wait. So, Gilly, see, I'm thinking you was drunk and then just the other side came out.
No, Wallow right here. Wallow's stripping name was TTD.
Wait, hold on. Where Wallow at, bro?
Wait a minute. What?
What's up,
hold
nigga? Hold on, bro. You lying on Wallow, bro.
He lying on me. We turned the club out. We made that.
Wait, Wallow?
Hey, look.
Man, this Wallow. Wait. Hold on, bro.
See, the problem is, this is the problem Wack be lying about yesterday. I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on. Wait, Wallow, slow down, bro. Slow down. Bro, y'all not supposed to admit. I didn't know y'all was gonna
Clearly
say
they
nigga, my
playing.
name, listen. My name was TTD. Throw that in there, getting that money.
Oh, my God. Hey, bring some women up here, bro.
If you gonna hustle.
Hey, bring some women up here, bro. I wasn't expecting this.
Listen,
ladies, raise your hand. Please raise your hand.
There was no female in there, Wallow. So how was you throwing that?
This might be a hand.
Yeah, how you was doing that, bro?
No, we was in the strip club. What you talking about?
I mean, because Gilly be talking about you was on lifeguard duty in prison, in the shower.
No, I cleaned the prison showers, and he remixed that. I don't know how. Somebody told him some other. I was cleaning the showers.
Wallow, don't do that. You held it down with the murder shit, man. Don't do that.
You know damn well you was
hell what down? What you
in the shower, low.
Yo, so listen, so y'all telling me that y'all understand, because we've been a little fused about Shmurda.
No, Bobby cool.
Some niggas is saying that it's some, what did he say? It's some islander shit and all this shit.
Right? Some Caribbean lifestyles type shit.
Right? Man, I don't know if we got any Caribbean brothers in here. We got any brothers from the Caribbean in here?
Yep.
So wait, Gilly and Wallow was a tag team stripper group?
I mean, that's what they saying. Hey, I'm thinking I'm gonna flame these.
Man, it's some wild.
Hold on.
Hey, now, hey, Wack, now I know where you get that nut boy from.
Let me read.
Admit to it. Lisa, bring your ass off mute. There you go. Does your
He been known for the Philly rah rah rah. You and then you get with Bobby Shmurda, the young nigga, which all the way up. You start popping your crotch and just going real crazy. A lot of gyrated, and I was just
and
like,
two wasn't in the room, bro.
Hey, let me tell you
Two
something.
wasn't in the room, bro.
Tell you something, right? Let me tell you something,
bro.
Let me tell you something, right? I ain't never had to be nobody but me. That's the problem. Nigga live up to a facade. I'm just me. I do what I want, and guess what? Don't no play with me. Oh, don't play with me.
No man want to play with a man. What are you talking about, bro?
Don't play with me.
What? You want to play with a bro?
Bro, I'm 5'9", 162 pounds. Why no play with me?
Bro, we don't want your dimensions, bro.
Why do
And it was a hugging too going on, bro. Bro, it was a lot of hugging too going on, Gil.
Nobody gonna play with you, Gil.
That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I do what I want. I don't do what I feel as though I'm supposed to do. I don't live under no certain set of rules. I do what I want. If I want to have fun, I'm gonna have fun. And guess what? Gonna sit around and they gonna have an opinion on anything anyway. And guess who don't give a because guess what? When they see me, they not doing nothing.
Hold on, my man. Wait. Hold on. As a female right here, Yvette Davis just backed out and said y'all was doing a little too much hugging.
Hugging? We wasn't hugging.
Okay, we gonna pull on Yvette. Pull Yvette up, bro.
And you know something? It's a unique situation because I be in some of them rooms sometimes, and I done hit one of them before and say, "Hey, yo, let me up." But I need not be doing that. Only reason I say that is because number one, I'm in negotiations with a lot of different companies, so my content means a lot to me right now, right? I come up in a room in a certain circumstance, maybe or something like that, but I'm not necessarily interested in going up all the time when I'm in there because it's basically free podcasting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if I want to do free podcasting all day long like that. I don't think that that's a good business decision. I think that that's a waste of content, a waste of time. I think it'll be very childish of me to sit up and podcast for free all day like that, especially with me building a brand and having certain people in position with me and doing a lot of these things that's about to happen and giving that free content out like that. I just think that's not good. Hence why you see Joe come in and he keeps it at a bare minimum. If you remember when Joe thought it was the elite on there, he would go up there every day talking. It got flooded. He probably looked back like, yo, this is free. And they put this on YouTube and I can't take it down. Right? You can't tell me they don't have a way. It's free promotion for them. You can't tell me they don't have a way to trigger that audio and make it where if it is loaded anywhere else, it's flagged off. You can't tell me that. They passed that technology is available. So when I don't see that in place, I understand the agenda. They're using people that's taking those clips and getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and other platforms, Instagram, things like that. They're using that as a part of their marketing team, marketing strategy, and it's working. They've raised their valuation. They've got celebrities to come on there and bring their whole audience for free. They've got celebrities to come on there and host rooms and bring their whole audience for free. Know what I mean? So it's a unique thing, man. But yeah, Joe is in this conversation somewhere. But I want to get back to the part where, because this is where they was just playing. And, I want to kind of get past that. I want to get back to the part where he was kind of explaining what he was saying and how versus how it was painted. And I want to definitely address both of those. But let's listen to a little bit more of this, then we'll go to that.
Hold on, let me check something. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. See, because a lot of these kids got to understand that we slicker than you, right? we slicker than you, so we know when you just saying some, say some shit. Saying, what is he saying? Because I don't know him. What he's saying, I did what, or what is he saying? Or what's the
He's
problem?
basically saying that, Bobby Smurdas and they shooters and dancers. What you trying to say? They say that you police, and that's just op.
Come on, but see, that's the thing.
That's not what he said.
Cause I got some
Yes,
old
he
heads
did.
right here.
You got to start wait, this is where y'all got to start educating you. Where the f I'm the police got to do with my opinion about the drop the music on time and you're dancing in a way, nigga, that ain't gangster. What that got to do with all the
He
police?
called you the police, but he said just because a nigga dancing don't mean that he can't be a shooter.
Well, hold on.
You just brought up Omar.
So, did we ever question about what that do in the street, bro?
Nope.
Did anybody call a man gay or say he ain't gangster? We said you gonna lose the street with that dancing, right? So where the rest of this? See, little like that is little dumb. Should have stayed in school, bro. They should have went and stayed in school so they can comprehend what the motherfucker is saying. These niggas hearing 8 languages, bro.
That was his op who said it, so it was kind of crazy. Like, yo, y'all be beefing. So why are you sticking up for Bobby Smurda? Period.
Because you don't see why he won't Wack to say something back.
And the Chews really killing each other.
Look, he won't Wack this. He won't Wack to say something back, and he say something. No. At the end of the day, Wack giving Bobby Smurda all this publicity right now, all this attention, good, bad, or indifferent. Bobby Smurda getting it, not you. Whoever you are, Tutu, whatever the I don't know who you are. That's weird, because, like, why are you speaking on a that's supposed to be your enemy to a you don't know? Like, and when you talking about something, keep it where it's supposed to be. All this, that, he a real shooter, and Wack, you the police. What did I talk about that had anything to do with the police?
Now, the reason why 22 G's is responding because it's a Brooklyn thing, and Brooklyn who's really going at it, that's Cho or Wu, you know what I'm saying? Them stick together saying, yo, fam, ain't soft from Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Ain't soft about
Who called him soft?
But that's what they think you insinuate.
No. Hey, look, bro, stop being weird, my acting like y'all kids. The one thing about Wack, if I want to call you soft, I'm not sugarcoat. I'm gonna say you soft.
Yeah, he said multiple times, Bobby a real, not taking that away from him. He said that multiple times in this room.
100 times.
Yeah,
so
he said that.
Calling Bobby
100
soft.
times.
Nobody's
And said he won.
Yeah, so
it could be his label. Maybe his label's telling him to do that.
No. Check this out. When y'all hear them paint that narrative, hold on. When y'all hear them paint that narrative, y'all gotta say, nah, I talked to Wack. I heard Wack.
Hey, boy, ain't nobody calling that man soft.
Rich from Brooklyn.
Nobody's calling him soft. Nobody's calling him gay. Nobody's saying he ain't a solid dude. I'm saying them dance moves got the street saying what the f is going on. What are you doing?
I got you. And I ain't heard nobody opposed to that yet.
I got you.
I'm from Brooklyn, and I've been in this room for like 2 hours, and Wack been saying the same for the past 2 hours. He only talking about the dance moves. He never said he not a real.
But we just explained it to him, though. We explained it to him it's a Brooklyn thing. It's a Brooklyn West Indian thing. You know what I'm saying? That's all we just saying, though. If you're not from Brooklyn.
Generational thing. Like
that too.
But y'all done had people come on stage and say that's not some New York and not some West Indian at the same time.
This is why I know where games are being played at. Because don't think Wack. There's no way you boxing people in like this and you're around somebody like Kanye West who mind is open. That dude ain't boxing into these little things like this. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't even mean dancing. I'm taking it further than that. Like, dudes are not, at least I'm not, right? You not dealing with nobody that's worried about what I look like through your eyes. I got a handful of people that through their eyes I'm worried about my perception. Outside of that handful of people, I'm uninterested in what it looked like. I'm more interested in what it costs. Only because the way society is set up. At some point, I want to take some time out and heal from a lot of the things I've been through. Take some time out and go on vacation and stay out the country for 2 months. Live a little bit, go to deep in the waters. I was telling somebody, like, everybody be talking like they, oh yeah, I want to get the yacht. Yo, them waters get scary, bro. You out in Cabo or something, man. Them waters, man, and all you can see is water. That's a hell of a thing. Like, I mean, of course, if you're on a big yacht, that's different. I'm talking about, I was on TikTok. It's a little dude that's literally in a boat this big. Not, you know, just one of them little bitty personal boats. He out there grabbing shit in the ocean. I'm like, yo, that is a hell of a thing. And then when it get dark, that ocean, it's a different place. It's one of the only places on earth that takes such a drastic change as the nightfall. And I ain't talking about on the beach like in the sand. I'm talking about in the actual ocean, out there. You know what I mean? It's just a different feeling. But yeah, so Wack was basically from a label standpoint saying, yo, Bobby, you ain't dropping no music, this, that, and the third. Now they got him, they done tricked him into entertaining the dancing conversation. So now he running with the dancing thing. So he fade Gill and Wallow in attempt to do what? Tap into their audience. Because they fresh off that interview. You dig what I'm saying? So if they fresh off that interview, come holler at me, I'm their homeboy. That's why I say it might be a handoff. I ain't sure. Either he tricked them or it's a handoff, one or the other. But again, for me, and my opinion on that, and I'll move past it, is we not critical of the real and then giving the suckers passes. You know what I'm saying? If we got any passes in our book bag, it go to the real. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm from. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's what It's Up There podcast. That's what we going for. Any passes that we got, the suckers don't get them. You know what I'm saying? And because it's limited passes anyway. You know what I mean? Because if we just handing passes out, then it take the equity out of the dudes that did go do what they were supposed to do on behalf of what it was, you know? Just to hold some kind of order or some kind of equity in just being what it is that dudes strive to be, you got to leave a certain amount of passes off the table. So if we do afforded a pass to give, we definitely ain't going in our backpack and giving it to the suckers. And then on top of that, dudes is real and rappers. We know that's a deadly combination. At least, you know, I don't know a whole bunch of real and rappers. You dig what I'm saying? We know these rappers are sending back to the hood with an AP and without a house. Dudes' mamas is in bad positions and they got an AP on their wrist, but you know why? It's easier for a to pass you down a watch. He got 6, 7 of them. Now you supposed to know what to do with that watch. See, in the hood, the problem becomes that he won't let the watch go. Bruh gave him a $118,000 watch. He got it on. Man, if you don't go, hey, bro, I'm finna get rid of this, but what if bruh ask for it back? It's just, so it's a whole, but if you something like that, it's probably some kind of ad loop involved in that. He trying to, like, I ain't gonna give you no money, but here go this. You know, you should probably be able to get 40 for that, 50 for that roller. So, you know what I mean? Now you can probably do what it is you need to do, man. But yeah, man, you know, we know these rap dudes are sending nigga back to the hood, man, with a $40,000 chain and $16,000 behind in mortgage. You know what I mean? So it's just, if you see a dude that take extra time so his partner can get out early, whole clique of dudes, right? And then, you know, I hear a lot of people say, man, well, you know, you don't applaud him for doing what he supposed to do. And to that I say, of course you don't applaud him for doing what he's supposed to do. But how many rappers you done seen do it that way? We don't even really know what a rap is supposed to do in those situations, to be real. So we gotta applaud the ones that resemble one of us when they in one of them situations. We gotta really applaud him, because really don't nobody know what the rap is supposed to do. It's two narratives going around. Some people saying the rap don't never supposed to keep it solid. He a rapper. He throwing his life away. You got others saying, nah, if you got involved in it, you got to stand on that. And so it's confusing out there. So when you see him start to applaud dudes that kept it real. It ain't necessarily that we looking at him like a street. We done saw rappers fold for less. We done saw rappers get up there and, you know, we done saw the Shine Poles and the BGs, the Turks. You know, I don't know. It's a lot of them, the Rollos. You dig what I'm saying? We done saw a lot of real ones go down and not, you know, Gates went and done some time. A lot of these dudes went and doing time and they ain't really doing too much of the, you know. And so what's happening is, but on the other side, you got a whole bunch of them that his paperwork came out. He told. And you got legitimate, they fans is pushing that narrative. So again, when you look at someone that stands on the responsibilities of, hey man, what I done belong to me, and what the universe got for me belong to me, right? You gotta applaud that. In a world where a bunch of dudes are doing the opposite of that. So we'll move on from that. All right, so now I want to talk about Kevin Gates went on to Big Facts podcast. Shout out to my people, Bank, Baby J, Scream, the whole Big Facts podcast family, and shout out Revolt TV and Black Effect. You know, the whole team over there. Beautiful situation, man. Again, Big Facts coming into the year with a big interview. As they do. Again, that's why I tell y'all in this space over here, man, you got to be getting your work in. They forcing you to put the work in around here, boy. You're not making no money, you ain't putting no work in. So Gates went over to Big Facts podcast and he spoke about a few things. We're gonna look at a few of the clips and then we're gonna come back with some game.
I was gonna, you know, the way of the samurai. Just smash myself because I was to the point I didn't want to live no more. That last video I had posted when I was holding my daughter, rocking her, I did her birthday in Cabo, in Mexico. I did all of that. I made sure that she had the best birthday ever. I was just holding. I knew that was my last time seeing her.
This was this past December?
Not this December, but the December before that. This December marked the anniversary of that.
Gotcha.
What sparked that though?
I wasn't happy. The world was already beat. The world, as men, especially as a provider, a lot of men don't speak about this, but a lot of men suffer in silence also.
Right.
When you a provider, and you a real provider, but you already unhappy, and you not feeling like you being celebrated in a proper manner. You feel like you only being tolerated. Like a lot of people be like, why certain men don't go home? Like when I was in the streets, I used to hate going home because I feel like it's cool, but I ain't welcome though. Cause it don't feel embracing when I go home. It's like y'all act like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Thanks.
So I want to spend some time on that. Cause that's a powerful place right there. And there's no information out here on this, right? But men deal with a situation where when they go home, see, back in the day, when granddad and them went home, the home was a place where those people dwelled at and they felt comfortable. It was a level of peace. It was a level of, you know, love and care and welcome home. You know, nowadays for men, I think that being a provider is at the forefront of everyone's list, right? Everyone thinks that you must be a provider. Me, I second that as well. But when you're viewed as just a provider, is that different than being viewed as just sex? Like, are those two the same things? Are we dealing with circumstances where people are not necessarily respecting people as people? Because men deserve peace too. I know some people that say happy wife, happy life, man, and I get confused when they say that. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's true, but I think it's parts of that sentence they leaving off. Are you saying dim my light and shine hers? Or together do we shine brighter? Together do we make a hell of a combination? Do we complement each other? Can we coexist? Or you telling me to make myself little so you can appear big? Make myself uncomfortable so you can become comfortable. I need to understand what we saying when we say it, and that's why sometimes I bring it to the pod and I try to iron it out. Try to iron the wrinkles out, because I don't, I know as a family, as a community, as combined. Because if I just need to work on what I'm doing, right, then I can do that by myself. I'm not sure that this generation of women and men have the information needed to provide any intimacy, to provide that comfortability factor that we may have saw back in the day, that we may have grew up under from granny, that we may have saw mama and them get. Like, I think that now we looking at love and sex in the same category. And the lines get blurred because love is something that's not tangible. It's an agreement. But it's a strong verbal agreement. It's a strong verbal agreement. But when you're dealing with sex, the feeling is unmatched. And so sometimes people place that feeling next to love, because if there's something unmatched and something that's supposed to be so good, but it's not tangible, I might as well put the unknown with the unknown. You feel what I'm saying? And say that they're kin, especially when we go to verbalizing while we're doing these things. And, because, I'm a talker, some people are talkers, when they get in there, and go to, you see what I'm saying? And so, it blurs the lines, you know what I'm saying? But I think there's something to be said about men being unhappy and men being in a space where we just seem to feel as though, that people are not viewing us in the way that, or appreciating us in the way that we should be appreciated. Let's listen to a little more. Let people in on the journey and where I'm at with it, man. And to be honest with a lot of people, man, it's a weird thing that happens with the universe, right? It's like doubt tries to start to creep in, like, see, for me, I always stand on trust the game, trust the information, trust your ability, trust the work you put in, right? But now as I got, Revolt on the line and a couple different companies that I'm in communication with, on the line, it's like I got something weird is happening, right? It's like, and I never felt it before, right? I've been getting money a long time in the street. I come out the street getting money, so, and I've been getting money legally, for a while as well. But it's like something's happening that feels like a shift is about to come. Like there's a change happening. There's a something, there's some momentum, something's happening, right? And it's creeping up on me, and it's like I feel it as I walk around my crib, or let's say I go jump in the shower or something. My mind instantly go to, man, you need a vacation. You need like a month to reset. You need, and I mean, before the rollout of any shows or anything, I need some time to go sit somewhere, get some massages. It's been a long 15 months, you know what I'm saying? And I want to share with y'all what it's like, what I'm going through, man, because I know it's creators out there that's on this journey. It's creators out there that's on this journey, and it's almost like, damn, bro, like you'll be able to place yourself and change the generational curse. Change the curse of, we might got a $500,000 laying around, but if you die too early and the wrong person get that money in them houses, everything's gone within one swipe. That's man. That's my biggest fear, and that's a lot to think about, right? When I know mama, cause mama know a nigga smart, right? Mama know a nigga got a unique ability. Mama done seen, done saw what I done just in life, right? But I'm not sure if she's ever really looked at it like and really been proud, had one of them real proud moments. You know what I'm saying? Where you look at it and say, damn, man, that's my child. That's my son. That's my, you know what I mean? And so I got to provide some of those, man. But let's get to this Kevin Gates video with big facts.
When you a provider and you a real provider, but you already unhappy and you not feeling like you being celebrated in a proper manner, you feel like you only being tolerated. Like a lot of people be like, why certain men don't go home? Like when I was in the streets, I used to hate going home because I feel like it's cool, but I ain't welcome though. Cause it don't feel embracing when I go home. It's like y'all act like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Thanks.
And a lot of men suffer from that and not knowing that it's okay to have your man cave. You have to go in your solitude and have your time for yourself in order for you to
Let me
release.
speak on that. Unfortunately for us, right, there's a misunderstanding on what it costs to be in a relationship, right? Men and women, right? Somewhere along the lines, we start to figure or we think that the price is the same. The conditions are the same. We start to think we're uniformed in the way we view things, receive things, and how we interact with each other. And I think that's a mistake, right? I hear oftentimes people say happy wife, happy life. See, my problem with that is you got to be careful when you're dealing with a tired individual, tired human. That go for man or woman. There's no specific gender on whoever tired, right? Because I done saw a man get tired as well. Men get tired as well. A lot of times when we hear women, right, and they go to communicating their representation of relationships of men, a lot of times on the other end of that, they're dealing with a tired man, right? Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they dealing with a sorry man. But there's a subsection in there too where you could be dealing with a tired individual, right? And so when you say he don't hold you no more, or he don't take you on dates, or he done let himself go and things like that, what kind of pressure is involved with the relationship? Is it a healthy environment, or is he just tolerated and expected to excel? Some people treat their boss better than they treat their mate. I had to figure out one time, I say, damn, man, them white folks at your job will tell you anything, and it ain't no back talk. But I can say something to you, and you will be able to respond to it before you even check, right? So I like to deal with specifics, right? So if I come say something to you, I done already checked the files. I literally done checked the files. This what kind of individual I am. This ain't by coincidence I done made it this far. This the kind of individual I am. We got to be careful not to celebrate each other, right? I think a lot of times when we had these conversations, we leave our men out of them, right? Happy wife, happy life. You know, you supposed to be the provider. You should have done better. And I think as a family, again, we got to be uniformed. A lot of times, uniformed in our acceptance of each other and our standards, right? But a lot of times men, they have trouble in communicating their standards, right? Sometimes it feels like you coming off, see, they done tricked us. Somewhere they done tricked us into thinking that when you communicate your standards, it come off as you acting like a woman, right? If you go to saying like, hey, yo, you know, I'm only home 3 days, you know, at the first 6 months of the year. Right, I'm only home maybe 3 to 5 days within that time frame. You know, when I'm there, I like for this to be the case. All the pushing and pulling I'm doing, all the overextending that I'm doing, everything I'm doing to make sure that you can just relax at the Big Boy Palace and have a great time, if that's what you choose to do, because it ain't never necessary to do nothing. You understand me? In regards to, listen, I'm a kind of man like this right here. If you my wife and you don't want to do nothing, you know, and you want to take care of the house and keep the house foundated and make sure they're running. Because to me, I got an immense amount of respect for running a household at a high level, right? And making sure that it is a place of peace and organization, right? That's our little organization you running, right? So I got a lot of respect for that. So now, if that's what you want to do, we can do that. But if you also want to go on your paper chase and you want to go into this or that, I'm with that as well. But I ain't one of them ones to say, yo, you can't work. I hear people sometimes say that. But let me get back to what the topic is. A lot of times men have trouble communicating their standards because women's feelings are attached to what men say, especially when they feel as though they open up all avenues, for the man. So what tends to happen is she think that she hitting you with the guap 4,000, you understand, and whole time in the back of your head you telling a man, you really thinking, yo, you could have done it like this, or I wanted, try this or do this or let's do that. But it's almost like when your kid bring you a drawing, you know what I'm saying? The dad never look at the drawing and be like, oh man, right? Especially us, we dealing with people not even trying to satisfy us on any level. Black men, we don't really. So when it come to that, it's like, damn, here goes somebody I love that may or may not be giving me the sexual pleasure that she thinks she's giving me. Right? So what's happened is I had trouble breaking those barriers and saying, damn, and she may be on the same side, but they know how to some kind of way deal with that a little bit better. But for the guy, you'll wonder why he keep paying the stripper. He keep getting caught over here doing this, and you feeling like, I just literally gave him some head yesterday. Right? Because it's a miscommunication of our standards. I also think that you gotta place yourself in the situations that you would like to be in. You see what I'm saying? In regards to, you gotta create your own scenario, right? And then you can't really sell yourself short. I know sometimes you go to thinking like, damn, am I asking for too much? Like shit getting thin and can't get. Yeah, man, it's probably a little. Am I? Nah, you not. You not. You on the right track. You're just the wrong train. They say you can be the full package and end up at the wrong address. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be clear in what what you want and create the scenario you want. A lot of times people get in relationships and they go on autopilot. It ain't no autonomy in relationships, man, because as human beings, we continue to evolve and change. And then you got to factor in social media. Now you got to factor in kids. Now he's a CEO with 10 businesses. Now he's in the NFL. Now he's a popping rapper. Now she got a business going. Now she got 5 businesses, a tax spot and this and that and the massage low. And so now you got to edit how you was treating these people at first, right? Because once you evolve, your interests evolve. And me, I feel as though I don't negotiate my peace, right? So I don't place myself in. I feel the same way about my peace that America feel about terrorists. I don't negotiate my peace with nobody. You see what I'm saying? That's a complete sentence. And I think time passed is time passed, right? I got a lot of respect for if you've been with somebody or around somebody and what went into that, right? And how much those memories, how much they may mean to you, right? I got a lot, I can definitely understand that. But I like to stand next to, we got to keep moving. And sometimes that becomes uncomfortable for people. Right. And I don't know if that's the right way to view things, but that's the way that I view things. Right. Meaning I'm not a prisoner of the time spent, because I understand the time spent, no matter how spent, you can't get it back. Good, bad, indifferent, however it was spent, it's time gone. Right. And a lot of people will use that time spent and hold it over your head to kind of legitimize that you need to continue to spend time with them, saying that if you cut them off right now, then that time spent becomes wasted. But I believe that if that time spent was wasted, it's wasted, no matter if we keep going. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's very important as well. again, I think time spent is valuable, very valuable. You know, it's a valuable thing, but I just can't consider myself a prisoner of it. Love is a two-step process, or staying in love. And for me, being in love and staying in love are cousins, but they two different people. There's two different places. There's two different things going on, right? It's a situation for me that it seems that people forget that getting it right and keeping it right is two different things, right? Getting in love, falling in love, those things are an obstacle amongst themselves, right? So we don't downplay the level of detail that goes into that, the level of commitment that goes into that. But what we can't ignore is that there's another step for us to make this getting in love or falling in love equal to staying in love. I hear a lot of times that people, when they talk at their weddings or they talk about their relationship, they like to talk about when they fell in love. And I remember when we did this, and I think those things hold a lot of value. But I think a question that we got to start asking each other too is, are you still in love? How do I keep you in love? Lil Baby just said it the other day, and it's the mindset you got to understand, right? When you hear your girl say something, a lot of you dudes are bask in that moment. You know, Jada, he did some things for Jada. You know, it was a bunch of roses and things, all that going on, right? And I'll probably flash it on the screen. And Jada allegedly, right, says that I'm in heaven right now. He say, yo, I'm trying to keep you there. So I'm saying, because it ain't about getting you there, because see, I can get you there, but I want you to stay there. I want that to be a permanent place for you. And that's what you got to understand about love and relationships is it ain't just, yo, baby, I'm gonna sweep you off your feet. I want to keep you off your feet. You feel what I'm saying? And I think once we understand that, man, we can start celebrating each other. But nowhere on that list am I going to ever say that the man doesn't have a place to be celebrated. Like, you know, like he don't deserve for somebody to say, you know, we holding you down. If the whole world against you, this house right here got you. This house right here, we honor you. Right? If for nothing else, it's because by proximity, right? Even if we ain't dealing with the love of it, even if we ain't dealing with the kids or this or that, or if we just dealing with appreciating what you dealing with, like, yo, when you around somebody that got a certain level of information, opportunity, and all that shit meet in the same time, and there's some special shit going on. I like to sometimes ask my family, who we know done this, what I done. But yet everybody we ain't downplaying this. It don't matter if we is. But ever so often I like to check in with the people who I know ought to appreciate the attributes. Right? Because don't downplay the accomplishments, right? Because it's a lot going on that I ain't see going on before I came around. You know, and not to pat myself on the back, the universe, the opportunity, things just are aligning, right? And so it's just unique to situation. But it's also important, man, that we communicate our standards and we appreciate also our men. I always tell people pride come before the fall, and I think they don't understand what that means, right? Because when I heard it when I was young, I never knew what that meant. I'm like, yo, I hear that, but I didn't get it, right? But as I come into myself, as I come into being the man that I am today, right? And I look back at some of those sayings that I used to hear just casually said, and I think about the gravity attached to them now, and I say, man, like, pride come before the fall, man. The ego. You know, the ego. Meaning don't nobody just fall. And you see, the problem is, and this is what happens, right? When they lift you up on a pedestal, right? The pride come before the fall, right? And so people say, well, I know what I'll do. I just won't make a move. Meaning I'll get in a situation and I'll just try to stay the same. And the unfortunate thing is the game won't allow it. You have to make a move. But you also always got to keep doing inventory to try to make sure the ego is in check, right? And it's going to take a certain amount of ego to get where you at. And this is where it gets slippery at. And this is why you see the NFL guy not understanding certain things, or you see the rap nigga call the label out, not understanding that they gonna sit back quiet, but they gonna be taking names. And you beat them with the pencil. All that running to the online. See, Meek is in a blessed position. Meek Mill is with next to Jay and them. Jay take a liking to Meek. Sometimes I always wonder, is it because of Drake? And that's another story, right? But he take a real, him and Meek and them, and I know it seems that they got a certain level of respect for each other. But because sometimes when I even hear the headlines, they make sure the Meek name is attached to certain things. You know, and I say, damn, that's Jay and them doing that. That's a press thing. I know how this works. You understand? But if you would see, right, a rapper run to online or something, or do something like that without any presence in the building or any good management, like a Rock Nation or something on his team. See, you got to have people that walk in the building and fight on your behalf, as well as people in the building fighting on your behalf, meaning the record label. You see what I'm saying? But Meek is able to call the label out and do those things because he's in that position. And sometimes because you do got a J, sometimes you do got to exercise the let. Because when he do something like that, trust me, it's a couple rappers that's like, oh, check mine, man. Check what Meek saying. Check mine. See what mine looking like. And then dudes start checking their thing. But in all actuality, you whoop them people there on the you pencil whoop them people. You got to whoop them in a certain different way. And sometimes we lead with our emotions. We don't know what else to do. And then boom, you got something on the internet with people saying, yo, Meek tweeted this or posted this. But Fabio Forum went on Mase's podcast, right? And so Mase's podcast, I think it's called Kitchen Talk. It's a podcast he's been doing. Fabio goes on there and speaks on a lot of stuff. Up north, like I said, they got a presence in media. They've always had that presence. Mase is kind of doing the podcast from the street perspective, like from the wrap up street perspective, and trying to get the backstory of these guys and things like that. And it comes off as good when he talks to the people who respect him. Bobby went to him over there first. I think the interview he did with Bobby, it didn't. I don't know. It missed something. I really don't know what it missed, but he chopped some game up with Bobby and got a certain side of Bobby as well. But Fabio went on there and he talked about signing to Mase for $5,000. See, it's a job out here to prey on some of these people's dreams. That's why, man, it's a lot of things that I haven't done yet. Is because I haven't been able to vet some of these people, right? And I know because I'm dealing with a certain level of information that shit is tricks all in the game. It's so many tricks. It's things happening that you don't know that's happening, right? Even with Instagram, I'll put this in before we get to Fabio. I'm starting to view Instagram different now because I'm starting to understand how some of you people are getting the celebrity followers and the lengths that y'all are going to, right? Because I'm around some of these people and I'm seeing what people are doing for a follow or doing for a quick picture, right? And it's still some people that's trying to trick people with the quick picture, like with the picture that's clearly in the airport or at the back somewhere where you've asked this person for. Y'all ain't nowhere in an office or somewhere in a relaxed environment or somewhere where y'all are really kicking it, bro, or doing no business. You done stop me outside the Starbucks and ask me for a picture, and then next thing you know, I'm tagged and somebody saying, bruh told me the deal now goes up to 80 million. And you thinking to yourself, man, that's that dude that stopped me outside the Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you really putting game down over there, they gonna hit you with a follow and be like, ah, nah, he putting super game down. But if you one of them kind, damn, man, it's trickery going on. So as I know that that's happening, cause I'm around people that's using, right? So I'm hearing dudes use, say like Bank. I'm hearing say, yo, just get off the line with Big Bank. And I might have done talked to Bank that day or something. No, Bank he doing something all day, locked in on something. It ain't, you know, and I be on big facts. I be like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I just talked to Loon and he said he gonna plug me right in with the, and I'm thinking like, sometimes I'll see little tags and be like, yo, what the is going on? So I'm knowing the levels that they'll go to, man. And it's a lot of trickery in the game. And with Fabio, he ended up getting lit in New York. I'll let him explain what happened.
At some point, you meet Mase.
Yeah. He reached out.
How did that happen?
What happened was I had this song Blicky in the Box with JD and D-Sav, right? So JD had an uncle, I forgot his name, but his uncle knew Mase from somewhere, right? And Mase was like, yo, I'm trying to look for artists. So I think he went to go sign JD first. Mm-hmm. But the song was hot. This was the song even had 1 million views. So this is why I really didn't care and signed so fast. Like the song had like things like 500,000 views, but it was lit in Brooklyn. It was like Brooklyn Drill was lit in Brooklyn. And then he was like, yo, I want to sign all of y'all. I could take y'all to the moon. I get you any feature you want, who you want to be. I'm like, I want a song with G Herbo. That's why I kept telling him, I want a song with G Herbo.
Right.
And he was like, all right, look, sign this shit right here. And then he gave the JD uncle, I signed for $5,000.
Right.
He gave him my money and he disappeared.
So JD
I never got the uncle. I never got the money. He disappeared with everybody's money. JD never saw him again. Nobody saw him again.
He got $10,000 and just got low.
Yeah, he got low.
And you never got the money, right? Mm-mm. He disappeared. Now you stuck in a contract with Mase.
Yeah, now I'm in a contract with Mase.
And it was $5,000?
$5,000.
I can't.
So, $5,000 check, right? $5,000 for Fabio, and you see Fabio latest album is produced by Kanye West, and he's still in that contract. I'm really trying to understand how or why. How is that still honored though? How that contract honored when I never received the funds because they got your name? That's why I say, bro, these contracts is, man, this shit hit different, bro. The contract thing, that shit hit different. Like, you know what I mean? So you gotta really, really pay attention, young niggas. If you go to popping, you know what I'm saying? I always take the meeting, but if you go to popping, make sure you understand what you signing, man. We talking $5K. And this is when he had that big drip. She fell in love with a big crib. And then when he had that record. So you got to deal with understanding how much that was probably, because he said it took off on radio by itself. Them folks ain't help with nothing. And also, young, if you get a contract with someone, you got to speak to brand building in the contract. You know what I mean? Don't just sign me to work. Like, make sure we building my brand as well, you know, and get everything off the road. Let's hear a little bit more what happened.
Like, to think. Like,
crazy, right?
From $5,000, now you got songs with like Drake and whoever.
It's crazy,
like,
right? I ain't know.
That's life.
I ain't know no better.
But what happens next? Because now you probably at a point where you feel like, man, damn, I could have used that money.
Nah, right? I was sick. I was tight. I was ready to go find a nigga. But he really disappeared. He real life disappeared. And then I told Mase. Mase was like, yo, I don't know if y'all running some type of Brooklyn cap scam on me and acting like he ran off with the money. Mase ain't really believe it. He ain't really believe it.
Wow.
So, but he tried to do his ones and twos, flew me to Atlanta a couple times. I recorded mad songs with him. But it ain't really, I mean, told me a couple things, put me on game, but like, I wasn't seeing him that much. I thought I was supposed to see him more. I wasn't mad at him. Everybody around was like,
did he get you the features that you was looking for?
Nah. I never. He never got me that G Herbo song.
That's all I wanted.
Wow. Somewhere in the midst of that, you moving around. Things are not so clear for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you record this song, Big Trip.
Yeah.
I'm in love with a little.
Yeah.
Hey. Listen, it was a lot of lines on that song that really could be attributed to me.
Yeah.
A lot of lines
resonated with you.
attributed to me, like really.
You felt that.
Really, a lot of lines. At that point, like you record this song right in the midst of that, right?
Nah, what happened was I think I signed to me. I think when I recorded that song probably like a year later. After I did the Blicky in the Box, it was like hood lit. So I was lit in the hood.
Right.
Brooklyn lit. The sent the beat. Axel and them was from UK, right? So what they was doing was they was sending over packs of beats at a time, like, yo, do my beats. Y'all sound crazy on them shits, do my beats. So Big Drip was one of them beats he sent. So I was about to drop a tape because he sent beats to Comatose Rose at the time. One of the cameramans I was fucking with had a studio in his crib. He like, yo, this nigga send me beats, I'ma fuck with you. Let's do. So he was taking me around to record. I record like 7 songs, all Axel beats. And Big Drip was one of them. But then he like disappeared on me too. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't really but I had the music. And then one day I'm like, yeah, I know I'm lit.
So you put the song out?
I didn't put the song out
yet.
It out yet. After I was like, yo, I know I'm lit. Let me take this music serious. I want to drop a EP with like 4 songs on it. Right? So I go to drop an EP with the 4 songs with a video. One of the songs I had Swipey on a song. 2 Cars. I did the Swipey, I did the video like that, 1 video, and dropped it like that. So I dropped the video and the tape on the same day. I was just trying, right? So this is my first ever I got on YouTube. My YouTube channel just started that time. I put the 4 songs out, and then Big Drip started going viral on his own. Like I had no video or nothing.
So it was just
like
going on his. It was the song.
The song started like it's.
And let me speak to why that's the case. So he's saying Big Drip started to go viral on his own, but you got to remember Pop Smoke was moving around with that sound. That sound was starting to take off. Pop was putting a lot of work in and had that machine behind him. So that's kind of why I was able to blend right in.
Going crazy, like the most views I ever got.
Did you take the song to Mase and say, hey, look, I just got the song, I want to put it out?
Nah. I was just putting shit.
So he wasn't really doing anything for you?
At that point, it was deaded anyway, right? Like he was just kind of.
I mean, I was mad at him.
The whole Mase thing is over.
No, it's not deaded.
Right?
It's not deaded. I'm still signed to Mase right now.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's eating still from whatever you put out.
Yeah.
He was signed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, you never went to him and said, yo,
that's OD.
I got this song. You wanna help me?
Nah, I gave up. Like I was asking him for money. I was down. Like, yo, send me 1,000. He like, yo, alright. He sent me 700. He sent me 1,200 one time. He sent me but it was too much. Like I just started getting lit. After I got lit, I was reaching out to him like, yo, what's up? I'm getting lit. Like, what's going on?
Big Drip basically went on his own and just
it did its own thing. Like 2 Cars was alright. 2 Cars did good, but the Big Drip shit was going crazy. But what happened was right before I dropped the Big Drip video, I'm like, I'm gonna shoot the video to this song. Before I did that, I dropped another song in between that wasn't on the EP, Jumping, because I was still going to studios recording. So I dropped Jumping, and then I put the Big Drip preview on the end of Jumping.
Smart.
Like I don't know. I wasn't even trying to really be strategic, but it just happened. Now I know that's ways how you promote your shit. Now I know that but it just worked like that. And then when I did the Big Drip song, it was over. It went crazy.
Right.
Radio picked it up by itself. It went crazy.
That was crazy. So he never came around to really help.
So what happened was when the Big Drip video, as the Big Drip video started going crazy, right? At this time, Pop Smoke is signed to, I think he's signed to Steven Victor, right?
Pop is bubbling at the same time.
Yeah, Pop was bubbling at the same time.
Y'all was already friends though, right?
Yeah.
Y'all was coming up together?
We already was in the same set. You know what I mean? He in the floor, so I'm in the 9, so it was just automatic. But as he's coming up, he was bringing me to the labels with him too. Like introducing me to people in Def Jam. That's how I met Steven, Rico, and all of them through Pop.
Right.
He was like, yo, Bobby, next up. He was telling them, I feel like they was more like looking at it like competition. So they was like, all right. Know what I mean? They wasn't really, they wanted me to sign to Pop.
Yeah, but y'all had the sound though. They should have really looked at it like this is a good.
Now they looked at everybody as competition. They was,
right.
They was going crazy.
That didn't affect your relationship though?
Nah, it did. It did. It could. It was like moments where I was like, is they getting in his head? And I feel like it was moments where he probably would have felt like, yeah, maybe Fabio comes in, but. It just happened. It's like I feel like brothers go through that sometimes. Like shit, but it wasn't nothing that was like we won't fuck with each other no more. Like we cool. Like we'll talk about it, argue about it, cause they'll put in his head, yo, Fabio don't be showing you no love in the interviews. And he'll like, yo, Fabio, why you not showing me no love in the interviews? Like it'd be like shit like that, and I'm like, nigga, I show you love all the time in all my interviews. Like look at it. And like, oh yeah, like it just like little shit, but nothing that's like we don't fuck with each other. You know what I mean?
That's crazy because from a label business perspective, I know that I can feel that being the case, right? It's almost like they looking at it like, yo, that dude is in the same lane as you. He sound kind of like you, but his voice is different, same beats. Like, so if they send a beat pack through, y'all are competing for the same beats, the same fan, the same everything. And so that label is going to tell him, hey, y'all don't care if that's your friend, y'all are competition. And with that being the case, right, coming from poverty, that now manipulates my interaction. Because now the way I interact with my competition ain't the same way I interact with my brother. Even though we try to put our blinders on. You understand? But I like competition. I'm a competitor, so I embrace it. But it becomes unique when it's that dude you grew up with, and now you got a labels involved and people involved that's saying like, hey, y'all two are fighting for the same thing, just so you know. Hey, just so you know, it's one state coming down and it's two of y'all out there. These is high-level jujitsu mind tricks. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes people are only doing what they taught. So sometimes it ain't even the people that's in the label that's really trying to start a problem. They literally looking at their investment like, yo, we want you to be the face of this, bro. These dudes got your sound and you got the audience. We're building the audience up and then you just handing them the audience. Like, so they don't want us doing that. They don't want it to be 2,500 podcasts going crazy because they think it ain't enough time for all us to eat. They want it to be 10. Same rotating. Numbers just rotate. Now we're gonna stick some more up in there. You understand? But yeah, man, dude signed for 5K. I want to get to the DJ Akademiks and Fresh and Fit podcast because again, there's a lot to be talked about. So let me find the clip and we'll be right back. All right, so DJ Akademiks, Fresh and Fit podcast, who was just canceled by the whole industry, was welcomed on DJ Akademiks podcast. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is DJ Akademiks telling the industry to suck his, I'll let you insert whatever word you think belongs there, right? He's throwing the Frank, right? It's interesting because Akademiks operates around these people, but he operates in a way that seems to be a little rogue. You know, he seems to be like, hey, yo, industry dudes. Or it may be because he's saying what I said previously on this Up There podcast, that he's kind of responsible for that blowing up. But I know he just thought he was doing them a solid. See, because that's in their DNA. That's their business model, to get on there, kick some girls out, put that clip out, it goes viral, probably see a spike in the listens for the next week or two, right? This is what they do over there, salacious content, right? Now, granted, it is a long time that they're talking, but the way that they market it, right? They take some of those clips like you see and they put him out. DJ Akademiks is really testing the strength of his rubber band, though. He's really placing himself like, oh yeah, I got big feet in this game, and I already knows that. So I want to be clear that that's what he's doing. But he's looking at all these industry dudes, man, and basically saying, you know, he's brought the people on that has disrespected black women, and the whole industry basically has canceled, you know. So let's take a look at a few of them, though. Let's take a look at a clip from it and see what he says. But man, this is why I say Akademiks is operating with these dudes' secrets. And if you think I'm not smart enough to ignore it like everybody else, right? If you think I'm not smart enough to come in here and lie and act like, hey, yo, Act must ain't got, cause I mean, yo, I'm good enough to do that. I parred with the best of them and shot at the rest of them. Right? I can come in here and lie, and I got enough game to make you think whatever I want you to think if that's what I want to do in regards to that situation like everybody else. These dudes jumped off the roof when it came to Fresh and Fit, but they ain't say nothing when it came to Akademiks co-signing it. Hey, I don't know what that's about. Maybe I'm new to the space. Y'all schooled me, tutored me. What am I missing? Right? Now, they came on here, and I'm not sure... I mean, every time they asked about it, because Schultz did what Schultz usually do when he grabs the hot story, got him over there. Every time they kind of talk about it, they basically just, you know, say the same thing. The Kevin Samuels type thing where they statistic it out, you know what I'm saying? And it's a unique thing they're doing, but, you know, the words that they're using, I know what they're doing. They're playing some kind of, because I know a little bit about everything, Slime, and this is what I've been saying, right? I know they playing some kind of weird mind game with women, right? There's some kind of weird thing that they think is very highly effective because they get results off of it, right? But what they're doing, right, is the juice worth the squeeze. They got to start asking themselves that, because when you tell somebody you're not special, number one, I would disagree with that, right? But number two, we got to start to deal with what's behind the curtain. Not what you saying, right? All right, I'm not special, cool. What's the intent behind some of these things? What's the result you looking for when you saying these things? Is this the behavior of, you know how, like, if you're in a weird situation where you're looking to buy maybe something that is used, but the price is still high. See, because if we dealing with antique, we understand that we put value on everything but life, right? So when we deal with antique, the older it is, the more value it has, right? So sometimes when you dealing with dudes who say certain things ain't special, and then they go to naming these lists, this whatever list off, you got to start asking, yo, what are you really trying to do with that? Let's set aside what you're saying for a second, right? What results you looking for when you say that? And when you say, and that's something that maybe I can only do, right? So because if you try to take my game, and I used to be afraid of dudes taking my game and running off with it, but you really can't, because I can only serve you one level at a time, unless my mind is clicking in that way where I want to go in depth with it. But most times I'm only serving you one level. So if you take that one level, on that next level, you're going to need it again. You're going to need me, because my eyes is telling me what I see. You know what I mean? But man, it's just unique to see Act bump up against dudes like this here. You know, I'm talking to Tekashi, which Tekashi thing I get, that's always been his boy. So I think, that's his boy. Now, Act, this has been his boy. Act did his first couple of episodes in his spot, but at some point, you got to really look at it like, it's it really slick, a gangster move. It's slick like he just like, yo, I'm riding with dude and them help me, I help them. I ain't going off board when they, you know, get in hot water. I ain't jumping ship when they get hot water. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what it feel like. Let's look at a little bit of the interview and see what we can get from it. She's saying is, it ain't about the money. It's about the value. So our values are in different places, right? So I don't want to date a woman who values are in different places as mine, right? It's because what happens is, and this is what you hear me talk about, right? This is why I said, even when I was talking about Gates, when he was talking about celebrating your man or celebrating your woman and just celebrating whoever your mate is and being in those relationships and where they still feel like they are valuable, right? You don't want to deal with a tired individual. Somebody's tired of the situation. Those people become weary of why they even in it, right? But a lot of times you're dealing with tired men, but they under contract. So a lot of still under contract with women, right? That they in situations where all the bills is in her name, everything is really in her name, and so they in situations where they unhappy and they there. And man, that's a mental warfare you placing yourself in. So it ain't necessarily about a woman not dating a broke dude or a dude not dating a woman who won't, that's not attractive to him, because you got to ask yourself what you value. Then you got to ask yourself, what does it cost to obtain it? Because sometimes you can value something that costs too much to obtain, right? Cost you your mental health to have that woman. And sometimes you got to say, yo, again, what's the old saying? The juice ain't worth the squeeze, right? So you get the woman, then you dry yourself off the river. You know what I mean? And I mean that figuratively. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that you got to be aware of the boundaries and have guardrails and handrails and things to understand about yourself. But you got to have time to learn yourself. I always tell the rich that, yo, y'all got all the time in the world to kick that mental health and do this and talk that and talk this. It's the ghetto I'm dealing with. They don't got time for that. They don't know. Say, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know nothing about that, bro. We down here trying to figure out what we doing. Somebody stole $14,000 out that house down there, and he think my nephew done it. And they been shooting up through here, and my granny live right there, and you talking about my mental health. I'm in a war zone. You know what I mean? These environments need there need to be some legislation put in place. There need to be some kind of bill written, some funding to the ghetto for real, bro, because if we don't fix the conditions down through there, man, it's going to be rough to, it's worth it, but it's going to be rough. You know what I mean? But you got to make sure whoever you with, man, that y'all goals align and that y'all just aligned as individuals. And a lot of us have never felt that, so we don't even know that it's a possibility. And when you don't know something's a possibility, it's hard to obtain it, right? Everything that I know I'm going to get, I already knew was there before I was able to get it. I always tell people, yo, you got to be working out like the champion of the world before the champion of the world. You got to be practicing like Super Bowl champs long before you get the ring. You know what I mean? So you always got to place yourself in a situation to implement what you indicate, right? You got to implement what you want to indicate. You know what I'm saying? You got to place yourself in a situation. I always do that. Let's listen to a little bit more. Arguments. This is why I say, and I have a hard time because I have a unique perspective. So when these conversations go to happen, it start to, you conflating things. Hold on, slow down. Somebody got to be able to say that, and that's why It's Up There podcast now is about to take a stronghold in the market, because we got to really know how to communicate with each other and not be manipulated. When you hear this dude, he just conflated 4 or 5 different things. You're talking about a barrier of entry to dating. I would say yes to that. Everyone has a barrier of entry of dating. We're dealing with standards at the end. So bro. But then he continued to go. And then he said, those dudes that dated you basically were dating down and they didn't care. But then from what perspective? Because we've already identified that women value things different than men, right? So if he values the pussy and the ass and the titties, and she values the money, and they value those two the same, what are we saying in regards to that? Right? Because we're not expecting him to value her status in regards to money and things like that. And that's number one. And then number two, they probably was in college or something. Like he probably, you know what I'm saying? So when you say that he decided to date down when she's already identified, or you've already identified, right, that men and women have two different things that indicate value for them. They have two different benchmarks, right? Totally different benchmarks. So when you talk about me and dating down, talk directly to my benchmark. And then when you talk about him and dating down, talk directly to his benchmark. So if I was a girl that was not as attractive, maybe if I did have more children by your standard, not by her standard, then, and he did that, then that would be dating down. So it looks like in this case, one of the ideal situations, according to how they put it. But I don't know if I'm losing anybody, but pay attention to what I'm saying. There's a manipulation game being played here, but you got to have a certain frequency to be able to keep up with it. Yo, value is value, right? Value is value. Now, everything don't have the same value, but if I value a hot rag, a clean home, this, that, and the third, right? And you provide that for me, and you value stability, protection, a man is punctual, professional, all these different things, right? And I provide that to you. We both are providing each other a value. And to diminish someone else's value, I think is irresponsible. Let's listen to a little more. And women do. Again, I want to push back on that. Because we all got homegirls or know somebody that dated a broke dude. We really all know somebody that a broke dude probably took down through there and really gave her probably one of the hardest times she done had, right? Dude, you know, the niggas with the money, they ain't really even giving her a hard time. That broke dude, man, he had a world upside down for a second there, right? So you can't say women don't date down and you can't say men don't date down. I think dating is more about when you met somebody, you know, proximity, where you at in your life. I think it's way too many variables to put in that to just lay that on, yo, you won't date down. Yo, that's like, yo, I don't know if that's the case. Now, is it unreasonable to request certain things, right, with certain attributes, right, with certain things on your side? I would say yes, but those are up for debate and they're interchangeable depending on who it is. And that's going to be constant, right?
Certain way, especially when they deal with men. So, and you ask,
yeah, but that's very different than not being special. Say that, right? We can agree that, right? All right. So a lot of you, and that's what I'm saying about understanding how to communicate. And that's why it's important for people like me to be in the marketplace to be able to point these kind of things out. These guys are playing some kind of high level manipulation trick, right? Where they're using words like you're not special. And then saying that the definition of special is that your approach is standard. And I think once we drill those down, we understand that this has to be some sort of trick that they're trying to play, because being special isn't based on your approach, right? If we want to be technical, and I think when we're using special, or if we're diminishing people by any stretch of the imagination, let's be very specific, let's be on the nose, and let's be critical of what we're saying, right? Because you don't want to criticize people and be willy-nilly with it, because those effects sometimes can't be undone, right? So what we're dealing with is people saying, yo, you're not special because you guys approach things the same. And all of us approach things a certain way, right? I go use the restroom probably the same as 90% of men, right? The girls use the restroom like 90% of women use the restroom. And I leave that wiggle room because there's some new ways of doing things that I'm sure I'm not unaware of, that I'm not aware of. But special, if we're dealing with DNA, I think the creator says we're special, right? We all have a specific DNA. If we want to drill it down to that, but let's set that to the side and let's deal with, again, not what's being said, but who's saying it and why they saying it. Why are we conflating arguments and saying special and then having that deal with my approach. But if you're a woman, right, and you fall for some of these Jedi mind tricks, you know, you just got to find yourself somewhere and just kind of try to learn some more information, because when someone says something like that, you got to know kind of what that means, right? And then ask questions, you know, but it seemed like she biting off of it. Let me just put a button up on this topic. I think we spent enough time dealing with a couple guys who said some things unfavorable. Hopefully I can have a conversation with them head up and really get the backstory of some of these things and ask some of the real questions, because Act didn't ask where he was from, things like that. Not that I know of. At least I haven't saw any clips of it. I'm not watching 3 hours of those guys. It's just not ever gonna happen. But basically in this back and forth that you hear here, they're kind of speaking about the ability of this young lady, Brittany Renner, not being a gold digger because she posted things that someone that's a gold digger wouldn't post if they wanted their success rate to be of a certain caliber. I push back on that, and the reason I say that is, again, we're dealing with, especially if you one of them dudes that crunch the numbers and look at statistics, you got to understand that we're dealing with a monkey wrench being thrown in the information that we look back at. What we look back at didn't consider the internet. So we got to take what we look back at, and we got to take what we looking forward to, and we got to put something together for where we at right now. You'll catch that another time. But when we deal with the internet, to say, oh, just because you post this, that means you're not a gold digger. I'm also almost to the point where I'll say the opposite. If you do too much posting things like, because I know some people that post that man all the time, and King, I'll die for you, and King, I love you so much, and King this, and King that, and King that, and King this. And if it's genuine, I salute it. But I know some people that's doing that, but they'll creep over here at the late night and do some things, you know, for a smaller piece of, they'll creep over here at the late night and get with me for absolutely nothing. Why them things ain't even 24 hours old with about how your king this and that, right? So I always look at that as trickery, what people do on social media. I'm not convinced of these celebrities. I ain't convinced the rappers don't convince me. I don't really believe nothing that they doing on the internet. It ain't bit me in that way, right? I ain't saying dudes ain't doing nothing and they ain't gonna go. I ain't that stupid. But I understand that you want me to see you showing me what you want me to see. And I never put that out of my mind for nobody. I know what the internet is. But we see dope boys get on the internet and put their guns up there. We know people in jail for having guns on the internet that had serial numbers attached to murders and crimes and things. Like, so we can't say just because you post something that means you ain't really doing it. Yo, I know real life street that'll go up on Instagram with $1 million in dirty money. I know dudes that'll go up on Instagram when they on the run and go live or go to posting things on their gram. So don't ever in life think just because my girl don't post, she ain't this, or just because my girl posts, she is this. You got to deal with people within your arm reach. Yeah, deal with people manually. Don't be dealing with nobody because what you see on no internet or no gram. Either way, that go for, say, dog, she go to posting this, she easy. And even if that is the case, you can't know that until you went within arm reach. I don't want to hear what you heard over the Wi-Fi. I don't want to hear about your intent, what you got over the Wi-Fi. Come in arm reach with it. And then you will get a real experience that you maybe can explain. But outside of that, we don't generalize anything, dog. We deal with the specifics. And that's what real game get us do. You know what I mean? So we're going to get off of that and see if we got any other topics. So I want to talk about this meme that I've been seeing going around, on social media. It's a crazy meme about will the next generation respect Michael Jordan in the way that we do at this time, right? And it's kind of just speaking on how the internet and things have sped up, right? It's with the same way where people who only saw the tail end of Julius Erving, right? Didn't necessarily give it to him the way that they thought, right? They would argue Michael Jordan, but Mike's game was just that special, the way it transcended those generations to where he's still in the conversation to this day. But people go to asking, yo, will his legacy diminish after this generation, right? People like me, the last generation of people kind of to see him play. Once we transition, will that next generation still look at Mike the same? And a lot of people said no, but I couldn't disagree with them more, right? Number one, of course, everybody makes the same point with the shoes. The shoes is a walking commercial. The shoes by itself, right, and the way that it's intertwined with culture has already placed him in a situation to be cemented, right? So that's a given. That's a thing. Number two is with the internet. See, all these dudes got to update. They keep forgetting one thing when they go to making these conversations. The internet is now here. And so provided people try to forget things like Michael Jordan or times like the 90s when this was happening, or the early 2000s, or Barack Obama, when what his fight was to get into the office or what have you, right? What that does is effectively create jobs. It creates more of these, more podcasts. Now people they operate in this niche market where all we talk about is comparing Jordan to whoever y'all think is the man, and showing you, basically showing you why Jordan was way better than that guy, right? Some kind of way, and make a living off of that. And you got platforms popping up everywhere. Like, so it's going to be the stories are not being able to be told. And that's the difference between that time with a Julius Erving or Wilt Chamberlain. They still got, they took stats. Luckily, the NBA, NFL, sports in general was thinking like, we got to take stats and keep a record, a Hall of Fame, or a Canton where they take stats and certain records and things like that, record breaking stats and things like that. So you gotta understand now that everything is gonna start keeping stats. It's stats on everything. And so as you try to forget Jordan, they're gonna be people who are called in. Like ESPN gonna need the little dude that know all about Jordan, but it's 40 years removed from the people that really saw him play. But he can still explain it in like his Stephen A. Smith type vibe, but that's his niche, right? And now that creates a show or a slot because it's gonna be 24-hour content around the world. Everybody gonna have a channel. Everybody gonna have to be streaming something. Then you got shit happening in the metaverse. Like, so it's gonna be opportunity for people to survive always, telling those stories. And that's the difference between what it was and what it is. Let me talk about the Kanye diss on the Game song with on the Game song. So Kanye West has a new song out with Game, produced by Hit Boy. Of course, you can expect what you expect from that. I think that I see how the greats get you in there and they try to strip all the strengths from you and make you go, and Game can go. So Game is comfortable in those situations. Everybody know our culture like to support Kanye and what it is that he's going through right now. And his behavior is showing us that he's clearly affected, right, by the circumstances surrounding his marriage and his family, as we would expect, right? I understand that I know better, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really be biting off none of this old front facing that's happening in the industry by none of these guys, but when I hear him diss Pete Davidson on a song, I really don't like that, because I come from a place where you keep it player no matter what. Oh, the girl, she want to switch sides, she want to choose up and do something else, you just keep it player. You don't never, but that's his family. And so then that's why I don't be knowing how far you go about that. You know what I'm saying? So, but really for me, man, the attempt is always to keep it player. You know what I mean? And so when I see dudes reacting that way, I know that they clearly doing it because they hurt. You know, that's clear. But I think it's unnecessary. Sometimes you showing your hand, you know, people kind of go to looking at you a certain kind of way, even though they really ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, you shooting in the dark. And one thing I won't do is waste time, right? So I can't be trying to chase nobody that don't want me or that's rejecting me. That feel too funny for me. That's a horrible feeling, you know what I mean? When you trying to be like, hey, you know, whatever, and like, nah. So I don't know, man. I think he got to figure out a way to. It looked like he's moving on. He's now, you know, smiling in his pictures. He got his mask and shit back on. So look like he's, you know, he going on about his business. And if that's the case, that's the case. But it just be interesting to see, man. Like when you talk violence on these records, when you dudes $100, $200, $300 million up, you know, and then you $1 billion dude, you know, when you talk like that, they can start playing them police games on you. It's almost like he taunting them, like, you know what I mean? Because they can play the police games. I don't know why he think they, or if he think they can't, but for sure they can play the police games on him and be effective. You know what I mean? And it's going to play right into some of his triggers, and it is going to affect a whole bunch of things. Because he going, 9 times out of 10, he may do something. If they create the right situation, he may do something unfavorable, right? And it may cost him more than he's willing to pay or that he needs to even pay. I was surprised seeing him admit it to the fight. It's almost like he like, this money. I'm already getting divorced. They finna take some of it anyway. Fuck all this shit. Know what I mean? And you don't want them to adopt that, you know, but you can't tell a man what to do. I hate to see us, you know, I'm always thinking about the trick bag, cause I know it's too many people depending on the information. You got too many people watching. You know what I mean? The key is the people that's gonna depend on everything that Kanye said, everything Loon was putting down. You know, when Loon got into there, or when this dude was doing an interview, you know, they really hanging their hats on these things. And so I'm critical of the information that's put out. So I must say something when I see something in regards to it, you know, and that's just how it's gonna be until I'm out of here. But another episode, man, of the biggest podcast in the world, man. We got some things coming, man. We can't wait to let y'all know. It's Up There Podcast. Biggest.